Welcome to the Clarity 16.1 Supportability and Feature Training session. My name's Catherine Ellis and I'm a Product Manager with Clarity. In this section, we'll review the enhancements for the Clarity 16.1 staffing updates. This presentation will cover two topics. The first topic will introduce you to Dana, who will now have the ability to configure and use the staff module within a hierarchy. The second topic will introduce you to a resource manager who will now have the ability to view and manage the staffing demands of his resources through the lens of using the percent availability unit of measure. New in Clarity 16.1, Managing Staff Within a Hierarchy. So what's new? The hierarchy blueprint now has the staff module available for configuration. The manager can manage staffing allocations across investments contained within a hierarchy using the generic grid capabilities to view aggregations through widgets and to perform activities such as editing, replacing, or deleting the allocations. Requested through the Customer Innovation Program, this new update is important for managers to have a robust user experience for managing all relevant data across a group of investments in one place. The administrator can now add the staff module to a blueprint and publish it for use within the hierarchy workspace. Once the staff module is added and published for the associated hierarchy blueprint, the manager will see the list of allocations for all labor and non-labor resources, roles, and teams related to the investments imported into the hierarchy. This module has all the generic capabilities available for the grid layout as noted here, including the ability to click on a hyperlink to navigate into the investment and return back to the hierarchy. It also includes the recent introduction from 1603 for column filtering. For the columns panel, the primary set of fields are associated with the staffing allocation records, and in addition you'll see a limited set of fields from the common investment object. For users with the appropriate investment and resource booking permissions, the types of activities that can be performed on this module are the ability to edit the staffing fields, the ability to delete staffing rows through a right-click action or multi-select action, and the ability to replace an existing staff with another resource, role, or team of the same labor or non-labor resource type inline through the resource field on the grid or in the details flyout. The ability to add staff is not available here in the hierarchy staff module. If you want to add staff, the quickest method would be to drill into the investment and add the resource role or team, and then return back to the hierarchy. In the following demonstration, I would like to introduce you to Dana Lewis. She is a portfolio manager within the PMO looking at the whole organization and not a specific team. Her focus is on how much projects cost and when will they be done. As part of her PMO duties, she manages hierarchies and has access to configure blueprints. With the new release, she's been informed of the ability to add the new staff module into the hierarchy blueprint. This is a great addition to the product because now she can analyze the staffing and work effort across the investments within the hierarchy. Let's take a look at how Dana can modify a custom blueprint. Within the Blueprints list, Dana locates a specific custom hierarchy blueprint which is already configured with some custom modules. Because the staff module was not available in the past, you can see a staffing module. This is really a custom channel module configured to show information from Microsoft Power BI. Entering the Edit mode, Dana locates the new module for staff and adds it into the blueprint and publishes the change. Now this blueprint is ready for use with the new staff module. Now that the blueprint is updated and associated with the hierarchy, Dana can navigate to the new staff tab. Dana will see the list of allocations for all labor and non-labor resources, roles, and teams related to the investments imported into the hierarchy. Within this context, Dana can simply view and export the staffing data. Because she has the proper investment permissions and resource booking permissions, she can edit, delete, or replace staff, or use the bulk actions to edit or delete staff in the same manner that can be accomplished directly in the investment. One thing you'll notice is that there is no plus button for adding staff into the investment. One way to accomplish that is by drilling directly into the investment and going to the staff module. So for example, if we drill into the e-business mobile network investment and go to the staff module, Dana can see that she has the ability to add staff for selecting resources, roles, or teams, or to use the plus button here to add staff. Let's go back to the hierarchy without adding staff at this time. Now let's look at some configuration activities that can be done in this new module. Widgets are useful for analyzing data across the investment. So here, we're going to create an example widget for unfilled roles. We're going to get a count for records where the staff type is equal to role. And because Dana has the permissions to add widgets into the library, she's going to go ahead and do that, and it'll make it available for all users with access to the hierarchy to place it in their views. So once we've placed it in the view, we can keep it linked to the filter or decouple it, and it'll always show the amount. And here you can see we can add filters. So if we filter for another staff type, you'll see that the unfilled roles will remain the same even though we have less records shown because it's decoupled with the result set. So let's remove our filter for now. Close that and close our widgets so that now we can focus on the column panel. Within the column panel, it's a little bit different than looking at the column panel inside a specific investment. You have the fields available for the main object, which is our staffing object, all the fields available there, but you now also have a small subset of fields from the common investment object that allows you to identify which of these staffing records are associated to which investments. You also have your per period metric totals, either grand totals or sum of period totals. So let's go ahead and add the allocation totals. Let's remove a couple of fields and add a couple more fields. Let's get rid of this other allocation field that was already there because we've added the per period total. Let's add the staff type. And for roles, we want to look at the requirement name and the requested manager. So now we have these fields available for viewing, and we have our grand totals. So we can rearrange them and so on. Now we can also set our view options. Let's set some quarters, and we want to look at the allocations. You can pick any of the per period metrics for staffing here, and we want to change it from grand total to sum of periods so that we could see the data related to just those periods that are shown there, and maybe change our decimal properties. And as you can see, the amounts are aggregated per row based on the sum of periods. And if we scroll forward, you can see the amounts are aggregated accordingly when the periods change because we're using sum of periods. The other things that you can do is you can edit directly in the cells if you have permissions, and so on. You can also use group by. So let's say we group by our investments. We can see the total allocations. Here we're looking at hours. And in this new release, we also have the ability to turn on or off the aggregation. So by default, it's on with a sum, or you can turn it off. And when you turn it off in the totals column, it turns it off for all the periods. And so let's turn it back on. You can also filter. And so let's say we want to look at only roles. So we can filter for roles, and that'll give us the information. And you can see now the staff type is role. And we can see all of that. And then we can clear the selection. And get that back as well. The other things that you can do is you can pull out the detail panel. You can configure it with more fields. You can display it to the right or dock it below and show the information there as well. And that concludes the demonstration on the different things that you can do within the staff module on the hierarchy. This concludes the staffing updates section. Thank you for your attention.